I am making butternut squash soup using the Pampered Chef Deluxe blender. Let's get started. I've got all of the ingredients laid out and you're going to see how this is the ultimate in one pot cooking, the simplest way to make soup ever. First, you'll add the liquid ingredients. I'm adding 2.5 cups of water. Next is all of the seasonings. Let's see, it's 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon ginger. Next is one of my quick tips. I like to use frozen butternut squash. It has already been cubed up, but of course you can use fresh. I am adding 2 10-ounce bags. I did thaw these first. You could add 3 cups of fresh butternut squash. Both are delicious. And now it's time to add what's left. 2 medium carrots, and because I'm using the blender, I don't need to peel them first, just give them a rinse. Half of an onion, half of a green apple. Of course, I don't need to peel it first. And garlic. It calls for 2 cloves. In my house, that means 4. I have peeled it. And look, that's it. I selected the soup setting. And now all I do is push the button. Here we go. See that? So it stops and starts, and it's figuring out what temperature it is and what temperature it needs to be. It will continue to do this sort of off and on for a little while. While this is cooking, I'm going to be making a super delicious granola topping that can be sprinkled on top of the soup. Stick around, I'll share the recipe for that too. But there it is. The cooking blender is doing its work on the soup while I am over here getting ready to prepare the granola topping. I'm using the stainless steel nonstick. I have already put in the coconut oil. It's really quite hot. Love it for making things like granola. It helps to really crisp everything up. Here are the ingredients. I had to write them down. 1/2 cup of rolled oats, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon into the pan. Love that blender. So I'm just going to go ahead and stir this around for a minute or two until it really becomes fragrant. Love how this granola smells. It is ready to come out of the pan. There goes the blender. I don't know about you, but I often don't make granola from scratch because I think it's going to be this big ordeal and I have to make a big batch of it and put it right into the oven. This is a really simple recipe that you can do right on the stovetop and eat it right away. Next, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of honey and a tablespoon of brown sugar. Stir this in. I'm warming the honey all up and dissolving the brown sugar. And now pour the oats back in, a 1/4 cup of golden raisins. You could even add maybe some dried apple, that would be good. The fruit really is optional. I do like the sweetness of it. And a 1/4 cup of the pumpkin seeds, raw pumpkin seeds. I think they're called pepitas. Get all the flavors to mix together. This topping would be so good over yogurt, maybe even ice cream. Love that. Or even just by itself. I think I'm just going to let it sit, pull it off the burner, and it can sit there really until I'm ready to serve the soup. Let's check in on the soup. You can see that it is really bubbling and steaming. The steam is coming out here on the top. There's a little hole on the lid that allows the steam to escape. The blending feature is coming on more often now. The blender knows that it doesn't want to scorch the soup on the bottom, so it will come on and blend it up more frequently. It'll pop on here probably in just a second. There we go. The soup is all done and now it is ready for a creamy add-in. I'm going to add in half a cup of heavy cream. Just added in the cream and now I'll hit the pulse button. Just a few times is fine. It is ready to serve. I can use a ladle right from the blender to serve. It's so hot and ready. Or I could just pour it right from the blender. That's how easy it is. It has this little lip right here that you can lift it right off of the stand. You could bring it right to your dinner table, set it on the table like this, pour some in everyone's bowl, and look how beautiful this is. What a gorgeous creamy color. And now I'm going to take you back over here where the granola has been waiting. I'm just going to sprinkle some right on top. It will add some gorgeous color and texture and a little bit of crunch and sweetness.